So much for that. And I'm looking at the gold prices, which have seen some profit taking today, and this is after the strength in US dollar. But the good number really is the Indian imports. I don't know how good you can call that, but nearly 670% of a jump up in the month of May in sense of gold imports there. Colin Shah is chairman of the Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, and he joins us. Colin, we will talk exports as well, but first of all, imports, and how do you look at the May number?
So the May number, though worrisome when you look at it in isolation, but when you compare it with April, May last year or historically, this is Akshaya Tritiya 9.
Yeah.
And the imports every month are in line with what has happened historically, even if you go back 5 years. It's $3 to $4 billion a month. So yes, it is high over last year, but last year we had the lockdown. So when you look at it, compared to the lockdown, it is unusually high. But when you look at the normal times like 2019 and 18, it is at $6-7 billion, which has always been the case, even when the gold prices were significantly lower than what they are today.
Well, absolutely. I mean, as you said, it was Akshaya Tritiya, it was wedding season, and the prices were below 50,000, around those kind of levels. So good time to buy as well. Colin, what's the kind of demand that we're looking at in the markets right now? Because the first quarter was fine, the month of May exceptionally good, as is always is. But how has been, June? How has it begun? What kind of demand are you looking at in the markets right now?
In the markets right now, on the export front, America still continues to be strong in spite of having high inflation numbers. But so far, it's trending at low single digit lower than what it was at the same time last year. So nothing, no cause for worry over there. The Gulf region is doing well. Europe is doing well. The worrisome region for us on the export side is China. They have had a massive lockdown and many parts of the country still haven't opened up. So the worrisome part is China. On the India side, domestic industry, it's slowed down a little bit, I would say, in the last couple of weeks, again, compared to the same period last year. But Akshaya Tritiya was strong, and we are hoping that as soon as the festive season starts from Raksha Bandhan, things should be back to normal again.
Okay. So while we've done 2 months in this quarter itself, how would you read this quarter to begin with? And the other thing is, as you said, China has been a bit of a worry. So what percentage part of Indian exports is China?
25-30% is China,
okay.
And China has had a lockdown, and that's why we've had this drop on the China export number in April. But we are hoping that this lockdown will be lifted. Most part of the country should be back to normalcy in the next few weeks. And as soon as that happens, maybe the annualized export number is back to where it was last year. So that's the assumption right now.
And how is the industry working?
Challenge.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was asking you, Colin, on how is the industry working with June in sight, and with the COVID numbers rising in India as well, is that a bit of a concern?
The big concern right now for the industry is the Russia-Ukraine situation.
Right.
Due to the sanctions put on Russia, 30-35% of the rough diamonds which come in from the Russian side have not come to India, and that is leading to some amount of, I would say, unemployment on the Surat side, which is maybe the bigger worry for the industry right now. Now, there are two things which will happen over here. One is the expected unemployment if this situation continues for a prolonged period. And secondly, we will maybe have a shortage of diamonds come season. Because once 30-35% of the supply has gone, we are expecting a shortage, especially when demand comes up in August, September. So those would be the two large worries for the industry right now.
And what are the kind of orders that you have already in hand for, let's say, June, July, August? And is there enough rough diamond availability for this period?
No, for June, July, August, we're already seeing a certain amount of shortage, and prices have again started firming up. The reason why maybe they've not firmed up as much as they should have is because of the China situation. So if the Chinese situation comes back to normal and the sanctions continue, then we'll see a much larger shortage going into August, September.
All right. Colin and Manisha, thanks a lot for joining us and giving us an update on the gold imports and the current situation right now. For now, the market is still under quite a bit of pressure. In fact, if anything, the market is worsened.